170, which is 26 in the league. They have 126 walks allowed. They acquired Jared Weaver in the offseason, and he really has not panned out. He's off to one of the worst starts in any of the pitchers in 2017. He's 0-4 with a 6.05 ERA. In May alone, he already has 12 earned runs. 12 earned runs in May. And, another one of their pitchers, Clayton Richard, he's 2-4 with a 4.34 ERA. And, in May, he has 6 earned runs and 12 innings pitched. So they're not pitching well. And on top of that, they are also not batting well.
Right. But it kind of sucks because Manuel Margot is doing pretty good. His the past few at bats, his last.
Join the Just a Bit Outside crew every Monday, 8 to 10 p.m. on BeExposedRadio.com.
Fall into this unknown to find who we really are. Crash into something new and take a break from our broken heart. Talk with the hip, tell me you lie. I think we should go for another round. Baby, try not to say too much. Let your love come down. If you wanna rule, it's some rules you gotta live by. Live by. Stay true to your cool, make a move.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Hi, I'm LeVar Burton, and I'm proud to be a book person. How do I choose a book? Sometimes it's the cover, sometimes it's the title. I guess I'm pretty visual. If a book's really impressing me and the writing is really good, I will peek and see what the last paragraph is, because the endings of books should rock you. I am a book person, and if you're a book person too, read to a child and spark a lifetime of ambition. Join me at bookpeopleunite.org, because reading is fundamental. A public service announcement brought to you by Reading is Fundamental, Library of Congress, and the Ad Council.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lane.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Everyone, thank you so much for joining us on another wonderful day. I am your host for this evening, Mervin A. Jr., and I'm standing in for, I'm looking right for someone here because she's on a break, but she will be back. Lolita E. Walker will be back. And we have a very, very fantastic list of guests tonight. 3 amazing women are going to be joining. We're going to get into that in a bit, but thank you so much for being another Thursday. Tonight we're going to be talking all about alternative medicine and holistic healing. Let me mic. Make sure everyone can hear me clearly. So yeah, we're going to be talking about holistic healing, quote unquote alternative medicines, and getting through this thing that we call life in the healthiest way possible. Dealing with everything that we have to deal with, medicine, traditional medicine, quote unquote modern medicine, what we've come to refer to sometimes as Western medicines, sometimes by themselves are not the answer. And so what do? We live in an age where our country is one of the most influenced countries in terms of the pharmaceutical industry. We are, by so many different accounts, the most highly medicated country on the planet. And so, it's really, really important that we take the time to assess what else is out there other than the things that we've come to rely on as traditional medicine. So before we get into that, again, I'm your host, Mervin A. Bourne Jr. I am the author of A Single Mother's Guide to Raising a Son. And my co-host, Lolita E. Walker, is the author of The Intersection of You and Change. We have a really, really amazing show planned for you tonight. Our guests are going to be none other than Dr. Dorothy Adamson Holley of the Nyame Cultural Healing Arts Therapy Organization. Also, we're going to be welcoming Miss Thema Azize Serwa from the Womb Sauna, and Miss Ray Sunshine from the Aaduri Healing Arts Organization. So I'm really excited to get into it. Hey, Lolita, I see you are with us in spirit from Florida. Thanks so much. I see you on the live chat. I see you also, Jack. I see quite a few of you. Thank you so much for joining in. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, so tonight we're going to be talking about healing, alternative medicines, and what exactly that means in the first place. You know, research from institutions like the National Center for Complementary and Alternative Medicines, which is also known as NICAM, as well as the CDC, indicate that there is a growing percentage of Americans who are taking their personal health and well-being into their own hands and taking a more holistic and alternative approach. In fact, statistics show that over a third of the American population seeks alternative ways to relieve pain from chronic conditions, to improve their overall health, and to relieve stress. So while what we know in Western culture is traditional medicine still carries the day for the most part, more and more people are turning to things like meditation, oils, making drastic changes in their diet, whether you're talking about ridding the body of metals, consuming more probiotics, doing things like trying to decrease or minimize the intake of lectins in their body. There's so many things that people are doing, but I think that we're really coming into an age where people are starting to realize that they must take more control over their health on a day-to-day basis, as opposed to just participating in this sickness care system where you just do what you want to do. You neglect your body, you neglect your health. You don't really pay close attention to the signs and symptoms that your body is naturally showing you when something's going wrong, when something's just quite not right. And people are starting to seize control over their destinies and over their health. And I think it's a really amazing thing. I think it's something that's very empowering, and it really goes into the theme that we try to bring to this show every week of self-empowerment. You know, it's one thing to have to go to the doctor or have to get prescriptions or have to have surgeries and really serious medical procedures when you really don't have another alternative, and there is definitely a place for that. It can be life-saving, but up until that point, there are so many things that we could be doing better and can be doing differently that don't cost a lot of money. And the reality is many of them don't cost any money at all. They're absolutely free. The only thing they cost you is your time, your effort. And when it comes to things like meditation or therapy, they don't cost money at all. They don't cost a lot of exertion at all. So I'm really excited about getting into this topic tonight. Lolita is saying she's so excited about the guest tonight. She's been wanting to delve into crystals, so it is perfect. And yes, it is. There's so much that I don't know. I probably know more than a lot of people, but there's still so much I don't know, and I can't wait. I have so many questions. We're going to be talking about Reiki. We're going to be talking about crystals. Where it's going to be talking about therapeutic massages. And, a lot of people, I was having this conversation with a massage therapist today, actually. And, a lot of people, when they think about massages, they just think, oh, it feels good. Someone's rubbing on me and, they feel great. But there are really so many health benefits to just something as simple as a great therapeutic massage. So we're going to be talking about all those things tonight. For those of you that are not familiar with, the whole therapeutic massage industry and with Reiki and what that is, and with acupuncture and things of that nature. We're going to talk about it tonight. So please send your questions in. I see quite a few of you in the live chat. Please go ahead and type your questions in, and we will be getting to them. I promise you. So, Lolita's indicating that she's had Thema at one of her women's retreats, and she is pure power. Cannot wait. I agree. So our guests are locked in. They're ready to go. And as soon as we get back from the break, we'll be joined by Dr. Dorothy Adamson Holley, who goes by Dr. Dot, Miss Thema Azize Serwa, and Miss Ray Sunshine from the Aaduri Healing Arts Center. So please stay with us. We'll be right back with Now We're Talking. I'm your host, Mervin Bourne, and I can't wait to get into the conversation with you. We'll be right back.
Take a minute and listen to this flashback of the Black by Demand radio show.
Control. They said she wouldn't, so they didn't know if she had a weapon. So it's just a mess. So yeah, you do have to have these discussions with your children.
You do, and you have to make them aware of that there is an enemy out there. Every time the police pull you over, or every time you have an interaction with the police as a black person, you are at risk of being in front of your enemy. Hopefully, it's not a police officer that wants to demonstrate that he's your enemy, but we all see it's a high probability of that being the case. So if we're not talking to our children do not have the coping mechanisms to deal with these type of intense situations. What they're going to do is what most of us do as black people, me and anyone else, which is become emotional. And that is the trigger point for the police. They know that black people are emotional people. So when they arrive on the scene, they are purposely trying to say and do things to you to get your emotions up, right? And then once they get your emotions up, then it's like, oh, that's what we needed. Now we're going to kick your ass. You know what I'm saying? Gotcha. You know, so I'm saying we need to have these discussions with our children, you know, and make them understand in this day and age, and it's every day and age really, but we'll just say this day and age for the sake of it being so prevalent on social media, like you have to understand what you're getting yourself into. And I think a lot of us as black people are just scared to still tell our children that there are a group of people out here that are your enemies.
Join us every Monday at 12 noon for Black by Demand radio show, only on BeExposedRadio.com.
Proceed with caution, tired of lane lanes, I'm exhausted. Poppin' Zanny's and sipping out the faucet. I'm confused, don't know what I'm doing. Wait, what I'm doing? Got me going, where the f I'm going? Out of space, where I'm going? Wait, of space where I'm going. Out of space where I'm going. I'll be up in the way. 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 Running on my face. Gucci guilty on my face. I'll be up in the way. 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 Can I talk to you? I've been working hard. I've been up all night. I just been so high. I feel nothing off the sands. Withdrawals killing me. I need something to sleep. Need you on top of me. I need to get high. Dreams designer all night. Chanel should be hot in my dreams. Wearing my clear in my sleep. I'm not who you need me to be. Indigo sound for the team. Royalty sound for the team. Hippie vibing for the team. I need space, girl. I need to get out, yeah. Slow my motions, leaning. I've been out, yeah. Never worry about me. I've been chilling. Can't do this no more. I'm in my feelings. Can't put your business all out in the open. Can't fix a heart that's already been broken. You changed my ways, I'm already hopeless. I take my time, I figure it out, girl. You know you are. I'll be up in the way. 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 Running on my face. Gucci guilty on my face. I'll be up in the way. 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 I'll be up in the way.
So, Jacqueline.
Yes, Mom?
I wanted to talk to you about something and... Oh, wait. Hold on. I just got a text. Oh, there's another one. Wow. Busy me. So, anyway...
Oh, wait, Mom. I just got a message. My friends keep commenting on my comment. Oh, there's another one. So many comments on my comment.
Oh, I can't wait to watch TV tonight. Playoffs!
Hey, guys, check out my new video game. Pew, pew. Wait. Mom, what? Huh?
What? Hold
What'd
on.
you say? Wait a second. What?
This weekend, unplug. Take your family to the forest. There's nothing in the world like experiencing nature firsthand. Trees, paths, bluebirds, streams. Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. To find the forest nearest you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back to Now We're Talking. I am your host for tonight, Mervin A. Bourne Jr., and I am joined here by three amazing guests. But for those of you that are now joining, this is Now We're Talking. The Now We're Talking radio show broadcasts every Thursday from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern. You can find us live on YouTube. You can also find us live on Facebook at the Now We're Talking radio show Facebook page or the Be Exposed Radio Facebook page. You can reach us, that would be me or my co-host, Lolita E. Walker of Walker & Walker Enterprises, through our email at nowwe'retalkinglive@gmail.com. Again, that's nowwe'retalkinglive@gmail.com. Those of you that are interested in Lolita E. Walker's personal services, whether it's life coaching, whether it's her women's retreats, or obtaining her book, The Intersection of You and Change, you can access her through lolitawalker.com. And those of you who are interested in getting to know me better and what I can offer in terms of public speaking, motivational speaking, or if you're interested in purchasing the book, A Single Mother's Guide to Raising a Son, my website is mervinbourne.com, and both of our books are available on amazon.com. So thanks again for coming back with us. We are joined this segment by 3 esteemed guests, and I'm going to let each of them introduce themselves, starting with my immediate right. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
How are you?
Good. I'm really good. I'm happy to be here. I'm really excited.
Good.
Yeah.
Happy to have you. So
Thank you.
Tell the world who you are.
Yeah, so I'm Ray, Ray of Starlight. That's my business name. I'm a Reiki practitioner at Aaduri Healing Arts on Harford Road.
Okay.
Been doing that for, oh my gosh, almost 6.5 years now. So yeah, I do Reiki, I do crystal healing. I'm also a doula for Doulas of Baltimore. So that's kind of my other job that I play around with. And I just float around the community. I have been living in Baltimore for almost a decade, and I've lived in different parts of Baltimore.
Okay.
So I feel like extremely intimately connected to like north, south, east, west, like the whole thing. So I bring all of that together when I like work with people. I really like that.
Awesome. I don't currently live in Baltimore, but the first place I lived in Maryland was Baltimore.
Okay.
When I moved down here to go to Morgan State University. So
oh, okay, cool.
That was my home for 4 years.
Yeah, I moved here to be closer to my fiance, actually. She was going to Towson at the time, and I was like really scared.
Okay.
I was that person, you know, where I was like, oh my God, is Baltimore even in Maryland? Like, I was literally that ignorant about it.
Baltimore is the most special place in Maryland.
It is the best part about Maryland. You cannot convince me otherwise.
What state were you coming from?
So I was living in Maryland.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I grew up in Montgomery County, Germantown. Nowhere really special, but then like moving to Baltimore and seeing like the world turned upside down in the most like authentic way possible just kind of like gave me the best culture shock I'd ever experienced and totally changed my life as a person.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Hey, power people.
All right, let them know.
I am Thema, Azize, Serwa. Hi, Mervin. Thank you for having me as a guest here.
Thank you for
hey,
joining us.
Lolita, wherever you are, I know you're watching.
She's with us, and she's saying hey to everybody. She's here right now.
I am the visionary of the company, the Womb Sauna, and I teach women how to heal everything through the sacred art of vaginal steaming. And I also speak and serve, and I'm a best-selling author. And at the end of the day, I like to introduce myself as being raw, unapologetic power. When I'm in the room, you're going to feel it. And I've done a lot of work on myself to be a pure vessel of divine love and healing energy. So I can't wait for this conversation that we're going to have tonight. And to all of my folks who I just posted the show, who are watching, thank you for hopping on. Please share what we're doing here tonight. Is really important.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Dorothy Adamson Holley, aka Drum Dr. Dot. I'm here representing Nyame Cultural Healing Arts Therapy. That's a huge, long name.
I love it.
Nyame is a Daper symbol that means by God's grace. My sister and I founded Nyame Cultural Healing Arts Therapy, aka NCHAT for short, in 2005. We integrate mental health and the arts to help people to heal. By training, I'm a clinical developmental psychologist and a licensed clinical social worker. And we integrate mental health in the arts, meaning I'm a talk therapist, but I've recognized that healing, real healing, needs more than talk therapy.
Yes.
That's one of my hats. I also do something called drummetry. I am a poet. I write original poems and set them to drum rhythms, and I call that drums and poetry drummetry. I coined that term. I'm going to be offering a piece of drummetry.
Can't wait.
I can't wait for that.
Me either.
I'm also representing Roses and Rust. I'm a part of a band, a Baltimore-based, awesome Baltimore-based band. Hey, Russ, Claire, Nate, Dog, Steve.
Yes.
Shout out to y'all. Oh, I love that band.
I saw you on the internet.
Okay,
very good.
It's a very cool band. I love being a part of that. I'm also connected with RNH Community Services. It's a PRP, psychiatric rehabilitation program in Baltimore, also on Harford Road.
Yes.
And I'm collaborating with them. They're doing wonderful work for people who have mental health issues. They're providing alternative services. They provide housing, transportation for people who aren't able to access those resources on their own. So I'm very excited to connect with TJ Rice and Jeanette Hairston. Thank you guys for watching also. And I'm just here representing me in spirit.
Awesome. It's funny when you said Hartford Road, and then you said Hartford Road. In my mind, Hartford Road takes me back to Morgan and Krispy Kreme donuts. I don't know if they're still there, but when we were in school, it was a huge deal when we found out that there was a Krispy Kreme donuts on Hartford Road. And then, you know, we learned about the hot light and what that represents. And because I grew up in New Jersey, we don't have Krispy Kreme.
Okay.
New Jersey, so it's a big deal. A big deal. Oh my goodness, was it a big deal? But yet to your point, as I've gotten older and wiser, Krispy Kreme is a once in a very long time thing, because they're not good for you.
No.
But they
I
sure
wasn't
do
gonna
taste
say
good.
that,
But they sure do taste good.
They do.
But thank you so much, ladies, for joining us tonight. Like, I feel like each of you has a specific expertise that, even though they are interrelated, they're so deep and so different in what you do. And like some of the things that you said in preparing for the show, that was my first time learning about many of the things that you all are in the areas that you touch. So I really cannot wait to get into it. But as soon as we come back from break, we are going to get deep into it. And we have you all for a good amount of time tonight. It's gonna fly by, so don't be shocked, but I'm excited. And those of you who are watching, stay with us. We will be back in 2 minutes with Now We're Talking.
The Artist Exchange Radio Show every Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., every Saturday, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Real artist, real talk, real live on BeExposedRadio.com. I was meeting with a friend yesterday, and I've gotten to the point where don't ask me a question because the truth is going to come out. And
exactly.
Just don't do it.
If you ain't looking for the truth, don't come to me.
Don't do it because I can't hold my tongue. And she wants to be this stylist, boutique, but you're not doing anything in that nature, and I can't take you seriously if you're not doing those things. And I understood why people didn't take me seriously, because I found myself in somebody else's lane. I was good at what I was doing and what I wanted to be, but I wasn't doing it for me. So how can I ask you to take me seriously if I'm living in somebody else's shoes?
And nobody can do what you do, and I think that that's a big problem that people face now. Like, you see what somebody else is doing and you want to do that when that's not your lane.
That's not your lane.
That's not what you're supposed to be doing.
But it's popular, it's getting that person money, it's getting that person applause. Oh, I want applause. I want money. Let me stand over here behind them.
And then a lot of times people aren't honest with themselves either. Like, I was thinking earlier today, I've been woke for almost 2 days, so so you get honesty, yes. And I was thinking, like, you know,
the Artist Exchange Radio Show.
Long live Pop. Y'all can go ahead and cry now. I'm gonna show these niggas what to do at one of your beats, man. I am Gas, by the way. Strong woman story should have been on CNN. Nobody knows what it's like being Gwen. Windows closed in the house, it ain't no CNN.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back to Now We're Talking. Thanks for joining us. Man, that break flew by quickly.
I'm telling you, sure did.
I'm really excited about tonight's show. There's so much that I don't know, and I'm looking forward to learning. Those of you that know me know that I love to ask questions, and I love to learn about things that I don't know anything about. So we're going to start with Ray. And, you know, during your introduction in the last segment, you mentioned some terms that some of which I've heard before, some of which I'm not that familiar with, but I wanted to start with your personal journey before we get into that. And could you tell us a little bit about your personal journey to where you are now?
Yeah, so it all kind of comes full circle because the only reason that I even found out about Reiki is because I was a client first.
Okay.
So I had tried almost everything in the book as far as like trying to manage my mood and having anxiety, definitely just going through like, I used to have like a lot of panic attacks and like I was prescribed medication, you know, like my parents have a really religious background, so there was like lots of like, well, like let's see the pastor, like let's go to church. So like after years and years and years of trying to do all of that, I shifted my focus to like more holistic type healing methods and things that like just weren't being presented to me at the current time. I was like, okay, we've gone all the way right. Let's go left and see where we land. And I landed on Reiki, just randomly stumbled across it on Google when I typed in holistic healing methods. And I found a local practitioner here in Baltimore. Her name's Sharon. She's amazing. Her business is called Alchemical Touch. And I basically saw her for a year straight. And at the end of that year, I was completely transformed. I mean, like, not that my anxiety was gone or anything like that, but I just had tools that allowed me to manage it better. And also like it gave me something to like touch base with in my own body and in my own spirit, which is not something that had been presented to me prior. It was like, oh, take some medication or like pray about it. But like in turn of me kind of being like, oh, well, like let me just touch base with myself, my whole world just changed. I was like, oh, okay, I understand what I'm feeling now. I understand what's happening to me. So like that's kind of like how I got into Reiki. And after having it done to me for so long and having such drastic changes come about, I was obsessed. I was like, show me.
Before we get into exactly what Reiki is, how did you know to even start looking or doing research about holistic healing? And
nothing else worked.
Is that something that was talked about in your house, or did you hear a friend talking about it, or was it television?
No.
Like, how did you have the wherewithal to even
literally I just Googled holistic health options, and that was like one of the things that popped up. So Reiki's relatively new. Like it's just now making its way into the West, like within these last 20 or 30 years. So whereas now you can like walk down the street and maybe see an advertisement for some sort of energetic healing, 10 years ago, you would have only seen that in California or in Oregon or something. So it's like nothing was presented to me. It was a complete, just like coincidental, like I stumbled across it and it
no
fit.
coincidences in life. I always
right. No, it just, it met me at a point. And I moved forward from there.
So in terms of before you discovered Reiki, your traditional medicine path, was it somewhat effective or was it not effective at all in retrospect? Like how would you?
I mean, like in a way it was effective in where I definitely like, as far as like clinically, it was effective. Like I was going to a doctor, I was taking medication, I was doing the things that you were supposed to do to get better, but it just did not work for me. And I think that that's like something people need to understand. Like it does not work for some people, and that's like totally okay. But back then it was like nothing else was being presented to me, so I had no choice. I had to go looking on my own because no one else was going to offer up anything else.
So a question for you about the looking on your own. Was it something that you were comfortable sharing with people, or did you kind of keep it to yourself until like down the road?
Yeah, so like I did mention my family has a really kind of like religious background, so I was very nervous about introducing that aspect of my life to them. But like I think my family especially, and a lot of other families who are very intimate and close with each other, they understand that healing is not linear. So it's like sometimes you have to just go all over the place before you find something that works for you. And like they were really understanding of the fact that like we tried so many other things and like nothing was working. And so I think at that point they just embraced it because they were happy I had something to like grab onto.
And that it was working.
And that it was working, yeah. My mom was like in tears.
That's awesome. Yeah, that having children I can understand, and especially having children that deal with special needs in different areas.
Yeah.
Because I have a girl and a boy. I understand what it's like to just want something to work.
Yeah.
And whether it's my idea or someone else's idea, like it doesn't matter when it comes to your children. So like when you talk about how your parents supported you and they were just happy
Yeah.
that to see a positive change. Like, I can totally relate to that.
Awesome. Awesome. Awesome.
So, Thema, did I say it right?
You did. You did.
Tell us about the journey to womb sauna.
Oh, wow.
Because let me just say this. I went onto your website.
Yes.
And it's a lot. It is a lot. It's very powerful. I'm going to be honest with you. It's something that I think someone who is not open is going to look at it and be like, there's no way that this lady can do all these things, and that I can see it being looked at with a lot of skepticism. Because let's face it, the society we live in, we have very limited information. Most of us move around in circles with people that think like us, that do pretty much the same things we do. We're not as open-minded as we like to think we are.
Right.
And, so when I was looking through all the things on the site, I was like, wow, this is so powerful. This is so amazing. I know that behind all of that, there's a journey and a story that is equally as powerful and amazing. So I guess
the journey to the womb sauna. I like how you asked that, how you frame that. Thank God that I had the courage to do what I do for me. I am the first testimony of my work, and so I'm grateful that it impacts people all over the world. But in full transparency, it ain't about y'all for me. It's about the healing that I needed. That's where it really started. So 2007, I had the audacity to say to God, break every chain in my life. Why in the world did I pray that? Literally, everything began to shift. I was married at that time. Suddenly the man I was married to felt like he wasn't man enough for me anymore. So we separated. I went in for a wisdom tooth extraction. They broke my jaw. 2 weeks later, my father transitioned. I mean, when I say every area began to get hit, it did. And it was an awakening for me. And so I started looking into how to heal all of this pain that I was in. Then I started having physical pain in my womb. It felt like somebody was taking a sword, sticking it in my ovaries and pulling it out. I said, this is not normal. So I went to my GYN. They did some tests, found nothing. I said, something's going on. 6 months later, I said, it's still going on. I went back. Both of my ovaries were full of cysts. And I was having irregular cycles. I was diagnosed with PCOS, called polycystic ovarian syndrome. And so, I went through 7 reproductive endocrinologists. They basically said, either go back on birth control, or if you ever want to have a child, you better save some money, because the only way you'll be able to do it is through in vitro fertilization.
Because of the cysts.
Because of the whole condition of PCOS. So, the good news is, when I was sitting in that office, something in my spirit knew that I got to decide if I agreed with what this doctor just said or not. So I made the decision to disagree. And my truth was, I am a mother. Matter of fact, I got so radical with it, I started buying myself Mother Day cards. My daughter was spoiled before she even got here. I had a sacred space in my home where I had bought a cute outfit for her, and my partner and I was writing letters to her at that time when we were together. And, I come from a lineage of women of faith. And I just believe that what was for me is, I am mother, I am healed. So I started smoking my womb with herbs. I was reading a book by Queen Afua. Shout out to Queen Afua, a master teacher of our age around Black women's health. And it was called Sacred Woman. And it was one sentence that talked about steaming the womb with herbs. And I just zoomed in on it for some reason. And I started talking to my mom about it. She said, oh, girl, you was that toddler who would dump out my lotions and put plants and call them potions. Like, it helped me remember who I am. And so my journey to the womb sauna was one of needing to heal myself. After 2 years of working on my own womb, doctors began to say, maybe we misdiagnosed you. My daughter, before this year, when the odds were stacked against me, I redefined them. And once I realized that I had the capacity to do it, I had to take that to other people. You know, so I quit my cozy corporate job. And the next day I was on the road with the womb sauna. In our first year, we covered half the United States introducing women to vaginal steaming. This month makes 8 years that I've been doing this work full time, 10 years in the practice of vaginal steaming. So that was my journey.
Hold on, so just to be clear, because I don't want people to think that they misheard what you just said. Were you able to change or reverse your physical ailments?
Yes, I'm the first testimony of my work. The doctors told me
tell us
the
about
only
that,
way I would be able to conceive my daughter would be through in vitro fertilization. And I conceived my daughter naturally and without what they said. To the point that I had an endocrinologist say, "Why is PCOS in your medical file?"
Wow.
And I said, because 7 reproductive endocrinologists said that this is what it is. They said, I think they were wrong.
So not only were you told that you would not be able to have children the natural way, you were also told that, and this was factual, that you had an abnormal amount of cysts in your womb.
Yeah, my ovaries were full of cysts. And so when I began working on myself, one of the things that I teach women who work with me is the advantage of modern medicine is diagnostic care. Tell me, peek inside my body, because my ancestors didn't have that leverage.
Right.
And sometimes we have the perception that if we just get back to our ancestors' ways, we'll be okay. But no, we got mummies with fibroids and stuff in them too. So we need to leverage modern medicine. You can peek inside your body, you can see what it is, but then rally behind your integrative and holistic practitioners to address it. So yeah, my ovaries were full of cysts, but I would go in every 3 to 6 months and request and require diagnostic work to see if the natural things I was doing for my body was working. And it was.
And lo and behold, they were.
And it was. Yeah, I'm very grateful for my testimony. So anybody listening who feels like you have to submit to whatever has been spoken over you, whether it's physically, emotionally, mentally, or spiritually, you get to be sovereign in your life, and nothing or no one can override your truth about yourself.
Yes.
And that's my experience.
You saying that reminds me, like I can hear myself in some of the things you say, and I tell my children, you have to define yourself.
Yeah.
Because if you don't define yourself, other people are going to define you. And we definitely live in a world where people will put their judgments on you, they will put their limitations on you, they'll put their definitions on you. They will tell you who you're supposed to be. They'll tell you what you cannot be, what you can be, what you can achieve, what you cannot achieve, what's possible to be healed, what's not possible to be healed. And you know, frankly, people who speak the way I'm speaking, the way we're all speaking, sometimes are referred to as quacks. I've heard that.
Oh, I've been called that.
You know, we definitely live in a society where things like voodoo, I mean, we grow up and we're taught that voodoo is evil. We're taught that a lot of the things that I've heard you all mention tonight are evil. If you're talking from whether it's a religious perspective or even non-religious people, sometimes it's just a cultural perspective where we're taught to shun things that
just ignorance.
Sound different or sound not of Western culture or not European. We're taught that those things are either bad, ignorant, evil, etc., etc.
So I hold no resentment either, because it's not what they call you, it's what you answer to. You know, so if they didn't call me that, I wouldn't even have the mental reference point on how to decide what I'm going to answer to. You know, so I count it all.
Amen to that.
Good.
So when we come back from break, we are going to continue getting to know our guests, starting with Dr. Dot. And I know you all have questions. I have tons more questions, so stay with us. We'll be right back with more Now We're Talking. Thank you.
Like, the one thing you always gotta remember is people gonna try to project their insecurities onto you. But you can't listen to what them niggas saying. You gotta get out here and do your shit regardless. You
gonna do what you love for the rest of your life anyway. So why not turn that shit into something? Be a man of everything you say. This shit bigger than me, man. Like, yeah, I'm good and all that, but you know what I mean? I ain't shit without y'all. So no matter what you up against, go hard. Don't let it. Can you imagine how I really having nothing is? Stomach growling, you ain't got no food in the fridge. Surviving on a jail diet of water and bread. No father figure, that's cause my father dead. Mom's bringing different niggas in and out the crib. No money, so you seen this less than all your friends. But it a joke because your mother was a crackhead. Older sister hoeing off, giving all the homies head.
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved pets. With millions of YouTube views, shares, Instagram likes, followers, and fans across the globe. But what do all these amazing pets have in common? Their stories started in a shelter. Start your story. Adopt a dog or cat today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a shelter or adoptable pets near you. Training that pet to play the keyboard? Well, that's entirely up to you. Visit theshelterpetproject.org and hear more about Hamilton the Pug, Toast, and Keyboard Cat's amazing adoption stories. Start a story. Adopt a shelter or rescue pet today. Your perfect pet is just a click away at theshelterpetproject.org.
Check out this fire flashback.
We need to relearn what it is to be these bosses and how we conduct ourselves as business-minded individuals and just people in general. I let my gut, and if I call it gut or God or whatever, I'm led by that energy. I know where it comes from. I know where it's, taking me, and you have to figure out what is important to you, and don't play this game. It's a game that we've learned to play, this chess game, and life is not a chess game. Life is real, bones, flesh, blood, decisions.
Make sure you check out the Artist Exchange show every Monday and Friday at 2 p.m. only on BeExposedRadio.com.
You're like an internal bleeder. Can't see your pain, but it can silently kill ya. So deeply wounded, but don't say a thing. Too afraid of what the people may say or think. So you just sit there and you suffer in silence. Your pride won't let you just uncover your secret. Don't wanna look weak in your image, it ain't worth losing. So you just act as if it's nothing happening. God sees you, and God hears you. Yes, God loves you. You're like an internal bleeder. Can't see your pain, but it can silently kill you.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back to Now We're Talking. You've joined us on the perfect night. If this is your first time joining us, we broadcast live every Thursday from 7 to 9 p.m. on BeExposedRadio.com, as well as Facebook on the Be Exposed Radio page and the Now We're Talking page, Now We're Talking radio show page on Facebook. Tonight we are having an amazing show about holistic healing, holistic health, alternative medicine, and we have just a really esteemed panel who is hitting on this topic from so many different aspects and perspectives. So those of you that have questions, please send your questions in to the live chat. We will address them. And right now we have a live presentation that we are going to be blessed with from Dr. Dorothy Adamson Holley, also known as Dr. Dot, who's going to bless us with some drummetry. Drum Dr. Dot. All right.
I write original poems, as I said, in case you didn't tune in early, and I said them to drum rhythms, and I coined the term drummetry to describe that art form. CD is here, only $10. I have my girl, this is Sophia.
Oh,
Sophia.
Hi, Sophia.
Beautiful.
She was made by Baba Baile McKnight, one of my heroes. And Baile is African drummer in Floresville. So this piece is called Enough. I'm a therapist, and I help a lot of people to heal their own wounds. I started with helping myself to heal mine. And I wrote this piece based on a lot of content that was brought to me from primarily women who I see in my practice. So it's called Enough. We'll start with the heartbeat, and then reverse. You had me false believing I possessed no worth. When the spirit was high, you kicked me under the earth. Survived your hell, and now I'm ready for a soul rebirth. With you, I thought that I was never enough. I break it down. I bent over, triple, double backwards for you. I did everything your sorry ass asked me to. There was nothing in this world I wouldn't do for you, but it was never enough. You told me to seek a personality change, and so I flipped the script from super sane to super deranged. You didn't like it, called me crazy, so I flipped it again, but it was never enough. I lied for you, swallowed my pride for you, took that bribe with you, Bonnie and Clyde with you. I did everything short of suicide for you, but it was never enough. I would twist my big body into every contortion, unprotected sex with you and have an abortion. Then you wanted a baby, said we name a Porsche, so I got knocked up, and now you want an abortion. It was never enough. Rolled that split for you, took that hit for you, was that number one ride or die chick for you. If you asked me, I would even turn a trick for you, but it was never enough. I did everything to keep our relationship stable. Got a second job, plus to keep the food on the table. You said you get a job, but you be home watching cable. But I'm the one that wasn't enough. Had no money to lend, spent all my ends. Then you gave it all to Keisha, trying to buy a new friend. I stick with you, I try, but I cannot comprehend, because it's never enough. Yeah, I paid the price, made that sacrifice. Thought I'd be your wife, tried with all my might, but you put me down, heart was cold as ice. But I think I loved you too damn much. So I tried to let the situation run its course. We ain't even married, but you say you want a divorce. Leaving you ain't easy, but you're leaving me with no choice, because it's never enough. I let you drive my whip, you went out and crashed it. Tried to bring it up, but you tried to mask it. My mama told me not to put my eggs in your basket. He said, but your mama knows she's just a corpse in a casket. And that's the day I woke the fuck up. I started thinking I put up with all your stuff. Didn't realize I was already enough when I met you. Thought I needed assurance, validation, self-esteem in the ground, tremble voice of shaking. I was steady giving you a steady taking. Didn't realize that I was just a fool in the making. I held you up, you shot me down, you clown. I was standing trying to stay on your merry-go-round. Now I stand my ground, no longer circus a clown. I woke up, we broke up, and found my voice and spoke. I found that I am a space sucker. You was just a joker.
Yes! Wow. Oh my gosh! Go on! Oh, that was amazing!
Oh my!
Oh,
drummetry.
We love it.
I'm here for that. Yes.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
I didn't want that to end.
Me either.
I was just getting ready to twerk. I was ready. I was like,
Yeah.
you know,
Oh
she hit
my
that beat
goodness.
one more time.
Oh my
Yes.
Wow.
So that's one of the many ways that I use rhythm to help people to heal. Myself first, of course. So rhythm is healing, rhythmic healing.
That was amazing. Thank you so much. I think we have to go to break, but we'll be right back with more from the drum doctor, Dr. Dot, and the rest of our panel. Wow, I'm like
in the moment.
I'm shaking from the inside. That was awesome. Thank you so much. We'll be right back. Stick with us. Now we're talking.
Only in the forest can you see this. But nothing beats the moment you see that.
Cool!
That's your child's eyes opening up to a world of possibilities.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go. And you might just see this. Visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
You are now listening to Just a Bit Outside, a sports radio show at BeExposedRadio.com. Come join us every Monday night from 8 to 10 p.m. on YouTube, Facebook, or BeExposedRadio.com.
So we had a lot of things going on.
Mother's Day, Major League Baseball, pink bats, pink outfits.
Yeah. They certainly did the mothers good. They don't show them justice. Like Jimmy said, the pink bats, cleats, all types of pink highlights in the major leagues. The Orioles were swept by the Kansas City Royals.
Wah, wah.
The Kansas City Royals. Thank you, Eric. Kansas City Royals they're like one of the worst teams in the major leagues
Baseball
right now. Yeah, so that was a little tough.
Yeah, so the Orioles no longer
For the home team.
have the top record. It belongs to the Washington Nationals now.
Yeah, so that was tough. So hopefully they'll get back on track with the next series. Maryland, we got some local sports, collegiate to report. The Maryland lacrosse. Let's shout out the Maryland lacrosse team. They are in the NCAA tournament, and they...
Hey, this is Mark, Just a Bit Outside on BeExposedRadio.com. Listen to us every Monday, 8 to 10 p.m. on Facebook and on YouTube.
First they love you, then desert you. Leave with a plate full with no spoon. It ain't no space, I can't escape negativity. I got used to the taste. I've been bad, burned, then fucked over. But remain strong through the Passover. Kicking haters out of the way like masked over. Roll up, sip something, let it pass over. Who would I be? It ain't the man to me to let the next man take advantage of me. When that storm come, no pan I see. Get with it, not without it, then you'll see. I peep the haters, they know I'm greater. That's why they buzzing for the elevator. But I can't save you, the weed too loud on the pedal stool. Don't carry fakers, always got your hand out demanding favors. When I just looked out, now you need more paper. I can't breathe, give me 3 feet. I never let y'all be the death of me.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back to Now We're Talking. Thank you so much for sticking with us. The time is flying by. We were just graced with an amazing musical presentation, also known as Drummetry, from the drum doctor, Dr. Dorothy Adamson Holley, also known as Drum Dr. Dot. Thank you so much. And your organization, I don't want to mess the name up, Nyame Multicultural Healing Arts Therapy.
Nyame Cultural Healing Arts Therapy.
Got it.
NCHAT. Most people know this as NCHAT.
NCHAT.
Okay.
Acronym.
Okay. Awesome. So thank you so much again for that presentation. Tell us about your journey and how you got to where you are and what you see your mission as and your purpose as from your perspective.
Let's start with the purpose and the mission.
Sure.
The purpose and mission is to help people to heal, not just through talk therapy. Drumming, music, rhythmic healing is a powerful, potent force that's undeniable. Unfortunately, in our culture, things have to be statistically analyzed, and you have to have a strong foundation basis, and research has to be done. I know, as you're saying, it works. It worked for me. It helped to heal me in my deep emotional pain, and I use that as an art form to help other people feel. That's first and foremost.
So before you move on, because we're going fast and we're talking some real high level stuff here. Okay, medicine heals.
Yes.
You're sitting over there telling people that music heals and art heals. So to those of us that are watching and those of us that are going to be tuning in after this broadcast and hearing you say things like that and thinking this woman is crazy because medicine heals, music and art are not medicine, what is she talking about? Can you please address that thought process?
Think of your favorite song. Think about the emotions that are evoked when you think about your song, or a song that really you detest and like fingernails on a chalkboard. Some music just doesn't move you at all. Music harmonizes and balances our psyche. It puts you in a place, not only a meditative space. Whatever I need from rhythm, it's there. If I need to have uplifting music, I can play that on a drum. I can listen to a CD. If you think about the power of music, the old expression, music soothes. That phrase is hard to talk. Music soothes the savage beast.
Yeah.
Think about that concept and how it makes you feel. A certain song can elevate your mood. It can release endorphins, dopamine, those feel-good hormones that people use drugs.
Right. And I'm so glad you said that, because it's not just about feeling, because then people could attribute it to a placebo effect, but it has been scientifically proven that there's a direct connection between feeling, whether it's from exercising or listening to music, and our body's chemical response. So we're talking chemistry, we're talking biology, we're talking science. This is not...
That's the whole again. I understand what you're saying, and we always want to legitimize it by science. I'm letting you know, and I do appreciate
I don't look at it as legitimizing it, but I think it's just a matter of knowing what the facts are, right? So it's not just... And you know what? It's some people... It is real. Yes, right. But it is real because endorphins are a real thing. The chemical reactions that are occurring inside our bodies, and the reason I bring that up, it's again not to legitimize it, but it's to let people know that what you're talking about is not just emotional, because a lot of everything that we're going to be speaking about tonight, especially, we're going to be real, it's coming out of the mouths of women, are easily put into the emotional box.
Yeah.
Right? So where we can speak factually that we're not just speaking about emotional things and feeling topics and touchy-feely type things that apply just to women, I think we need to correct people, you know? So that's why I bring that up. Because sometimes, and sometimes people are just wrong, and sometimes people are just misinformed. A lot of people don't read, and a lot of people are not privileged enough to be exposed to women like you all, right?
And that's why I say, when we teach drumming, for example, it's often that people want to say, they want to take down notes, and they want to understand, but we're a feeling people.
Yeah.
It's about the gut. What can I want to touch people's souls. I'm not going to teach you
the
musical
notes.
Feel. Well, we teach at the Woodbourne Center, my sister and I, and the kids are like, oh, because they're used to, you know, that mindset where everything has to be written down. No, write it in your spirit, so that when you're sleeping at night, when you're in the toilet 3 o'clock in the morning, it'll be in you. So I don't want it here. And we know that when the head and heart come together, that's when things lock in. But don't approach things from the cerebral first. Let you feel that in your body. If you could feel that rhythm that I played, it does something. It does something. It's at every cellular level. Every cell in your body is going to be awakened by that. It's going to be awakened by that. It's undeniable. Now, if you're maybe a stone, you know, maybe, but actually I shouldn't say that. Some people aren't moved by drumming at all. Very few people are not moved by rhythm or music of some sort. It doesn't have to be particularly drumming. We use different forms when we work with people. So yes, it works, and I don't want to get into the realm of, there are studies that have been done on this whole thing with PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. I work with a lot of people who've experienced immense trauma, and some people who've experienced, trauma is all relative. You're not going to fall down a flight of steps, you fall down a flight of steps, you could be traumatized, I may not be. But trauma gets locked and stored in our bodies. That fight, flight, freeze, the energy is stagnated, stuck there. And so we need movement. Like when we talk about trauma treatment, we don't approach things from the cerebral, because when you're in trauma and you're in freeze, the prefrontal cortex, that thinking language part of your brain, actually shuts down. And you're in the limbic system, you're in emotion. So to access those deep emotional wounds that need expression, it's all energy, it needs to be released. It's gonna come out, trust me. But we want it to come out in healthy,
one way or
productive
another.
ways.
Yes.
And drumming is a very, very powerful, potent tool and resource to be able to help people to release painful emotions that some people have experiences that they don't even have words for yet. There are no words for them. They dissociate at the time of trauma, they're frozen, and so their words are, so you're working from the bottom up. You're working with body, you're doing Reiki, you're doing wound work, right? And then at a certain point, you use your voice first through the instrument, because we have a lot of percussive instruments. When we do something called a rhythmic healing circle, we use a lot of percussive instruments, and each person in that circle uses his or her voice through that instrument. And trust me, at the end of that, when we do that closing circle, everyone's talking. It frees you. I work at Turning Point Clinic as a consultant, and I work. This is a clinic for people who are suffering from mental health issues as well as substance abuse, substance use disorders. I did circles there. People talk about it made me feel powerful, like how I felt before I used drugs. I mean, you can't.
That's deep. It's amazing.
And just to go back a little bit about what you said, I started this journey. Baba Bailey, I have to shout him out. Baba, if you're listening, I'm not sure if you are. I studied psychology, social work, Western medicine. I knew in my soul that there was something missing. I couldn't put my finger on it, but I knew that talk therapy really was not enough. It wasn't. This was way before I knew about trauma.
What is talk therapy?
Psychotherapy, just,
sit on the couch and talk about
communication.
It's successful. I mean, it helped me. I was in therapy before myself, so I know that it works. But there's always. I had therapy. And I had my baby on this. I had Sophie. I'm telling you, between sessions, certain patterns. It's in there. I can play a certain rhythm, and then instantly, it's there. So I sought out Baba Bailey. Baba Bailey is the gold standard of anything African drum cultural in this that I've ever met. So he helped me to understand psychological healing, mental health from African cultural perspective. And when you spoke earlier about the diagnostic process, in Africa, they know how to diagnose.
Yes.
I went to Senegal with one of my teachers, Baba Dam, Hassim Gay. I speak French and also English. It's a marabout. A marabout is a healer. They build medicinal plants. So I'm sitting, each person that came in for a reading, we were all Americans, each person that came in, first of all, the man had people on bench lined up outside to see him. These are people in African culture. They allowed us in. This man could look at you, cowrie shell, root, plants, diagnose what was wrong with you, not having any foreknowledge. This is God's honest truth. No foreknowledge. And came back and told people what they were struggling with. And they said, Doctor just told me that. How did he know that? How did he know that?
That's a wisdom that we're not exposed to.
So we do know. It's not marketable. Because like you think of medicinal plants, we'll say something, we package it and sell it, and then it's, again, that word legitimized. But there are lots of healing methods that people use in Africa and other indigenous cultures as well. So it's real, but of course we can't quantify it. It's just anecdotal.
Can't monetize it.
Right, there you go. But this, he blew my natural mind. And then the remedies, he would say, well, for this certain thing, you go out, chicken has to be slaughtered, it was a widow. I mean, it was stuff like that. It took root, and I shouldn't probably be talking about what I experienced, but it was the most powerful.
No,
you
but if you don't talk about
it, yes, people know.
This is the place.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sacred, now sacred. I have so much respect for our indigenous way. Of
the wisdom.
Yeah. Well, it really is a gift, I'm glad you mentioned like you went outside of the country. So many people are not fortunate enough to be able to leave. Some people don't leave their state. I know when I went to Morgan, I met quite a few people that had never left Baltimore County. And so the gift of being able to not just see other cultures outside of the United States, but to be able to see a culture that is your culture or somehow connected to your culture, what an amazing gift that is. Because you realize, like when you said before, you had an experience in life where you felt like the therapy was helpful, but something was missing. And I think that's a position that most of us are in terms of knowing that something's not missing. You're searching for something. You feel a hole or holes or vacuums in you or in your life, but you can't identify it. You can't quantify it. You can't label it. And a lot of times I think it really is what you mentioned at the top of the show, what you were looking for, you found it by going internal.
Yeah.
And I think that that's part of what the ancestors know. That's part of the wisdom that they know that along the way got lost and is lost among us. And we're slowly but surely starting to find it again. And thanks to women like you all, the message is getting out there and people are being healed and people are being helped. So I think it's an amazing thing. So when we get back from this break, I want to get into what are some of the things that each of you are doing in your practices that the general public might not know. So for example, like what specifically is Reiki?
Sure.
What specifically is a doula? And what is your purpose? What is your utility? How is that helpful? And how are the different things that you all are doing in your daily lives, how are they helpful? And how are they going to move and transition our people and people in general forward from this place that we're in, this place that we seem to be stuck in? So we'll be right back with Now We're Talking. Thank you so much for staying with us.
You use Tearless Baby Shampoo because it's gentle on your baby's eyes. You make sure his toys don't have any sharp edges. You always test the bathwater to make sure it's not too hot. You taught her what to do when the smoke alarm goes off. You make sure she wears a helmet when she rides her bicycle. You put on his sunscreen, even when he's embarrassed his friends will see. You do so much to keep your child safe. But are you using the right car seat for your child? Is your child facing the right way in the car seat? Is the seat too big or too small? How do you know when it's time to move your child into the next type of seat? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Protect your child's future at every stage of life. For information on the right seat for your child, visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat. That's safercar.gov/the-right-seat.
A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Why is Connor having trouble focusing in school?
Having trouble finding Connor's middle school? Would you like directions?
No, why is Connor having trouble focusing in school?
Finding lowest airfare to Istanbul.
No, I'm tired of fighting with him over homework.
Home, walk, restaurant. Need a review?
No, I need help. He's very smart, but his mind wanders. He's disorganized.
I think I understand.
Oh, good.
Finding best potatoes for French fries.
No!
Russet, fingerling, Yukon Gold.
Why don't you understand me?
Sorry, I was trying to show how Connor feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
For the 1 in 5 kids with learning and attention issues, this is what life can feel like. Explore understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues, designed to help your child thrive in school and in life. Understood.org, because understanding is everything.
Brought to you by understood.org and the Ad Council.
Check out this snippet from the new season of Talk Lately with Monty about Jennifer Holliday.
Anyway, let's get back to
Yeah. Well, what I wanted to say is that I can understand 100% where Jennifer Holliday is coming from, and that's sort of kind of where my 20% came from. When I basically came out and said who I voted for, I received a lot of backlash. Even on my own talk show, which comes on every Monday from 5 to 7 p.m., I was called a coon. Okay, yeah, shout out for the plug. But yeah, someone actually,
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back to Now We're Talking. Thank you so much for sticking with us. We are in the midst of an amazing show. We're talking about all things holistic health, healing, and it's just been an amazing show. We have 3 amazing guests with us. Dr. Dorothy, Adamson, Holley, Thema, Azize, Serwa. I hope I said that right. Ray Sunshine is with us as well. So
it's Starlight.
Starlight. And I just changed her name.
The sun is a star. It's
the
okay.
Sunshine
works.
Tonight you're going to be Starlight and Sunshine.
Starlight and Sunshine.
Listen, I'm a Gemini. I can do both.
You shine bright.
Girl, oh my God, that's why! Yeah, Gemini power! See, that's why we vibe.
So it takes a Sagittarius to manage all
okay. Come on. Those fire signs,
Right. Yeah. So, Miss Starlight, tell us about these rocks you got sitting on my table.
Yes.
Just kidding. But they're healing crystals, correct?
Yes. So these are all of my healing crystals.
Slide this over.
Yeah, sure. I can move them forward.
What is a healing crystal? What is their purpose? What do they do?
So these are all just crystals, which are like minerals, rocks. But these specific crystals have been like attuned to me in my practice, and I use them during Reiki. So and just to be quick about that part, when I find a blockage or something during someone's session, because I'm working with energy, I can place a crystal on it, or the crystal can amplify what I'm putting out as well, which is like healing, peace, love. I use these to amplify the energy that I have. So each individual one of these vibrates at a different frequency, but I can tell you right now, just even this little blue crystal is already vibrating on a frequency higher than all 4 of us in this room. So yeah.
So I'm going to pause you right there to let our viewers know just a little bit more what we're specifically talking about. So you mentioned Reiki, and we've mentioned that many times through the show. Reiki is an energy-based therapy that relaxes the body, promotes self-healing, encourages emotional release, and offers pain relief. It supports physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual healing. So this is a real practice. This is not something that Miss Ray is making up as she sits here. This is something that's widely recognized, but it is in the realm of what's considered alternative healing, alternative medicine, alternative treatment.
Yes.
You won't go to the hospital and find people, Reiki practitioners.
One day soon, we hope.
Which hospital.
So continue on. You were talking about how you use these minerals, crystals in your practice.
Yes.
And each are all of these crystals, or?
Yeah, every single one of these is a crystal, is a gemstone of some sort. Basically what you just said about Reiki is exactly intrinsically linked for me what all of these crystals are about. So Reiki is energy healing, crystals are energy. So they coincide perfectly with each other. Whereas Reiki is kind of ancient spirituality meets modern day physics. It's been proven we all emit an aura, we all have an energy field around us, and that's for every object on this planet emits some form of energy, some form of vibration. So working with crystals, you can kind of find that vibration in someone's body and then find a crystal that vibrates on the same wavelength. Or if you're trying to work on someone's root chakra, which is an energy point within the body, you can find a crystal that has been known to work well with the root chakra, so you can really get in there. So I use them for blockages, helping people focus during the sessions. So I even carry crystals around just in my bra all day, because I don't got time to be annoyed or irritated, which is one of my current moods.
And when you mention blockages, say more about that.
Yeah, so that goes into like working with clients for Reiki. Like what I'm looking for when I'm working on someone during a session, I'm looking for a blockage. I'm looking for something that doesn't quite feel right, or I'm looking for something that doesn't go in that clockwise formation of like what I'm trying to feel. I'm trying to feel like nice and smooth, and if I come up against resistance, that lets me know that there's a blockage there. So, by
is this from just being in a person's presence? Do you have to touch them? You
Yeah.
just speak to them?
So the best thing about Reiki is that it's energy based, so I don't necessarily have to touch them, although for me it does help for it to be hands-on, but there are a ton of practitioners that do hands-off Reiki. Like when I was first getting Reiki years ago, she used to just hover over me before I was comfortable enough for her to even touch me. So it can be hands-on, it can be hands-off. It's really about sensing the energy emitting from that individual. Yeah.
And from that energy that you sense, you can tell things about them.
Yes. So like during sessions with me, like if you guys ever get one, you might hear me like scribbling something because I'm picking up impressions and I'm picking up different things from working on that person that we discuss at the end. So usually what happens is like we'll go through it, it'll be a little bit of light touch massage, and then at the end we'll kind of discuss what I found, which will be like any blockages or any resistance or things that like I felt like came up during the session. And a lot of the times it is blockages, and I have my crystals for that, thankfully, because while I don't need them, like I said, they're amplifiers. So at this point they can only make what I'm doing even more powerful.
So can you resolve or remove the blockages through the crystals?
Absolutely. That's why. So like all of them get charged in either moonlight or sunlight. Sometimes I like bury them in my plants at home to give them time to like reconnect with being a part of the earth, because these are just like at the end of the day, these are rocks that grew inside the earth. So it's like to replenish their energy, just put them back where they came from.
So I've heard different answers on this.
Yeah, there's a ton.
Are rocks living things or not?
I consider them living things. Like I said, like they're vibrating at a frequency higher than what we consider ourselves are, which is living individuals and human beings.
And is all rocks or just specific types of rocks?
I don't know, because I feel like the earth is alive. So
the reason I
that's
ask
all
that
rocks.
is because people hearing this might think, because it just popped into my head, that rocks that we place more value on, like in our society, diamonds. There might be an assumption that a diamond, because it's been deemed more valuable, vibrates on a higher frequency than another type of rock. Is there a connection between the value we put on certain rocks and minerals and the value that they actually have in terms of your practice?
Well, if you think about like the power of manifestation and the power of intention, and then you have something like gold, it's like everyone makes a huge deal out of it, and it's a like huge commodity, and like we trade it and we want it, and people have put all of this power into gold. So you have gold, which is so powerful, but at the end of the day, it's just a part of the earth. And that's how I feel about every single crystal on this table, whether it be a gold coin or this piece of quartz. It's all a part of the earth. It's the intention that's placed into it is what makes it be.
So I was talking to a woman friend of mine who was talking about engagement rings and the size ring that she wants and the size of the diamond she wants the diamond to be. And her boyfriend / fiance said to her something to the effect of, you know that the diamond industry has just scammed us all. It's a rock, and they control the scarcity of the diamonds, and that artificially inflates the value, and it's all just a big scam. And when I heard him say that, I mean, what he said is exactly true, and I knew that, but it just didn't matter. It didn't matter. So, you know, that like what you just said, that it made me flash back to that, because it is about, like, we have the power, right? So we determine the value that we place on these external things. And that's such a fundamental lesson that applies not just to like a diamond engagement ring, but it applies to everything. And it's so, like, this conversation keeps making me flash back to like my own conversations. I was having a conversation with my son who is in high school, and we debate sports all the time. And we were talking about how I was telling him the NBA players and the NFL players, they have a lot of power that they don't realize that they have. And the agency, the management, the owners of the teams, they have placed like what their idea of what the power structure is on the players, and the players and the fans, we accept that. But in reality, there's no game without the players.
Yeah.
So the players actually have the power, but everything is perspective.
Yes.
It really is.
Right?
Oh
So
my
if
gosh.
you have power that you don't know you have, then are you powerful?
Yes.
Right? Maybe. Maybe
You're
you
just
are,
not
maybe you aren't.
demonstrating it.
Right?
It's
It's
not
just like
demonstrating it.
dormant
It's
power.
dormant power.
Right? So I think this is all like really, really cool stuff.
No, it's the coolest stuff.
Yeah.
I will attest to that.
Yes. So when we come back from our break, we are going to speak more to Miss Thema and Dr. Dorothy, and we'll be right back with the most amazing show ever.
Yes. Yes.
Oh my gosh, this is so fun.
White keys only have this bitch jumping.
Okay. If I sit around, hold up. Look. If I sit around, hold up. Yeah. Rebel up. Let's do it.
If I sit around, I'ma smoke some more. Wasn't even thinking about smoke before, but I'm in my head and I'm in the bed. Don't know who I am, like I'm wearing a mask. Work them old, tell them where the cash. If you wear the cash, tell them where the cash. If you playing for you, gon' run it back. Don't make promises, but I promise that. Don't promise me, cause I ain't into that. Fell in love with that and got hurt from that. Now it's all over and the curtains back. Can't see you not noticing that. I'm letting it go, it ain't holding me back. Yeah, I'm on dice, but ain't come for the crack. Drinking with uncle, we only do jack. How I'm alive, I thank God for that. Praying about it, things getting better. Open it up with my name on the letter. Why you crazy about it? Saying whatever, you shy to be you. You know you gotta be you. Sometimes I need privacy too. Yeah, you know I ride. You know I ride, and you know you ride for me too. Yeah, you know I. Look, you like getting that hit for real. When it's me and Murray, just us, we chill. I'm in a rush to get off to get you. Never ever had to floss to get you. Pay the dues that it cost to kiss you. Rug burns on the carpet with you.
Oh yeah. One dog throw this in there. Had to dedicate this to the homie out of New Orleans.
It is with great pleasure that I welcome you to today's graduation ceremony. Students, when you hear the reason or reasons for your absences throughout the years, please exit the auditorium without your high school diploma. Once you've exited, remove your cap and gown and proceed into the unknown. Too tired. Family trip. Part-time job. Helping around the house. Sick day. Starting the holidays early. Just because.
Starting in the 6th grade, students who miss 18 days or more of school in a year for any reason will fall behind and risk not graduating high school. How many days of school has your child missed this year? Absences add up. Keep track at boostattendance.org today. Brought to you by the U.S. Army and the Ad Council.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back to Now We're Talking with Mervin A. Bourne Jr. and our amazing guests, Miss Ray Starlight, Miss Thema Azize Serwa. Have I gotten it right yet?
Serwa.
Azize Serwa. Oh, that's not hard. Thema Azize Serwa and Dr. Dorothy Adamson Holley. And we have been having a great discussion about holistic health, holistic healing, alternative medicine, and how these things that we're discussing are not theories. It's not quack or junk medicine or junk science. These are things that actually work. They've been working for centuries. They continue to work today. And we're sitting in the room right now with women who are living testaments that they work, because they're not just in their practices imposing their thoughts and beliefs and conjecture onto people, but they have personal life experiences about self-healing, where they've healed themselves and been healed from some of the most dire physical circumstances, in terms of medical diagnoses, in terms of childbearing, just mental health, physical health. And so this is all just really powerful, really amazing, and really real. So those of you that have been with us so far, I encourage you to please share the show, share tonight's broadcast. It's so important that we let people that do not know about these things, about this subject that we're talking about, people need to know about it. People need to know that you have options. And the option might not necessarily be to replace the Eastern medicine. We're not saying it must be an either or, but it can be a supplement. You know, sometimes you're just missing a piece. Sometimes, you know, the traditional way of doing things is working a little bit, but you're still hurting, you're still in pain, whether you're talking about physical pain, emotional pain. You just need something else, you need something more, you need to get deeper in terms of the root cause of what's going on in your life. And a lot of times our medical system, whether you're talking about from the prescription drug aspect or the diagnosis aspect or the mental health aspect, they're diagnosing and treating symptoms and not necessarily diagnosing and treating root causes. And how much better would life be if the root causes of the things that are ailing us were actually addressed and cured? Like, imagine what life would be like. Imagine how better life would be. You know, the phrase, the term disease actually literally means dis-ease. And I think in addition to all the things that we're striving for, whether it's money or, you know, nice cars and things, or relationship goals, you know, hashtag relationship goals is big right now. What about striving for emotional health, striving for balance, striving for stability, and striving to really know who you are, or just learn who you are better, which is a journey. But how about really getting on and into that journey? And a lot of what we're talking about tonight deals with just that, and, you know, with slight variations, but it's all to that same purpose. And I just really think it's amazing, and it's something that people need to know about. The world needs to know about it. So if you're watching, please share and tell everyone you can about it, because it's amazing. So, question for each of you, and I'm going to start at the far end with Dr. Dot. What is the most challenging thing about what you do? What is the most challenging thing about what you do? Is it people that come let me just put another question out there, and you answer whichever one you want to. Do people ever come to you for help that you realize aren't ready to be helped?
Are you talking about trauma therapy, or are you talking about like private practice? Like
Either or both.
On the psychotherapy side, all the time. Okay. Especially where I'm working, people who are diagnosed with mental health and substance abuse issues get referred to me. They're not ready to deal with either.
Right.
That's a huge challenge. So that's why I introduced the Rhythmic Healing Circle. The doors are wide open. People who are not a part of, I work in the Spiritual Life program, part of Turning Point Clinic. People who are regular Turning Point Clinic patients wanted to flood in for that. They wanted that healing. They wanted that drum. They were connecting. It was like this group cohesion. You know, drumming takes you out of yourself, and it's right in the present moment. Note that you're not thinking about the future, obsessing, or worrying about the past, which we spend 99.9% of our time doing either or. They're in that present moment.
Right.
But to get them in a therapy room, to sit down and and again, to talk about their issues and talk about pain, that's a much, much bigger challenge. I don't have any problems getting people to connect with rhythm.
Right.
That's why I was thinking, like, pondering, I'm glad you opened it up to the psychotherapy practice, because that's where I found the most, because it's hard, it's painful, sometimes, most times, people are opening wounds that they've used substances to suppress for most of their lives. And when you expose those wounds, especially without giving someone something to replace that addiction with, and sometimes people are still, in their addiction, living in a treatment facility. So to ask them to open up and look at this, it's very painful. One of the reasons.
What can you replace it with? And because this doesn't only apply to addiction, it's like what you're saying seems to me like it can apply to all of us who are, we've all had different types of trauma, and we all deal with that in a different way. But suppression and repression is probably one of the most common ways of dealing with trauma.
What I was explaining earlier, we get to the wound from the bottom up. You're not necessarily talking about it. So I've actually brought instruments in a session, which is very, very helpful. So you don't have to express literally specifically what happened to you. You may not even be in touch with what happened to you. But this opens up, it frees your emotions. It gives you a voice. Poetry is another thing that I use. I write poems. I have people to write their story, not even in first person. Write about maybe you're making up characters. Like therapists who do play therapy do with kids. You're not. It's like it's depersonalized. It's not you. It's almost third person that you're writing in. And when you're writing or expressing in any way, you're allowed to be as creative as you possibly can. There's no judgment. There's no criticism. And then you can get to it from the back door. Just sit there and say, well, when you were in that fire burn, when your father abused you or raped you, it's not going to come. But eventually, when you start to get the emotional life open, because a lot of people, again, it's shut up, and you were talking about moving energy through Reiki. I only went to level 1 Reiki as a practitioner. These are 2 masters. You're shifting and moving energy. This is exactly what you're doing. It's stuck, and people are frozen in their pain and trauma. So you give them alternative ways to express that same thing. It doesn't have to be through talk. Eventually, you speak through your instrument, and then you speak through your voice when you're ready to speak through your voice. Because it's very painful. And someone is in my office, for 15 minutes, and they have to go back and immerse and integrate in their lives for the rest of that week, and you're waiting for them to come back, and you have to give them tools. You have to resource them to be able to come, to be out there and function and come back.
Just hearing you say that, it just struck a chord with me, because it made me realize that sometimes my thinking is so one-dimensional, and there's so much that I don't know, and sometimes even when I think I know the way, that's just one way, but there are different ways. And I think it's really important for us to just understand that there are different ways to get to the same place, right? And your way, or the way you think is the way, might not be the best way, depending on who you're dealing with, who you're speaking to, which child you're raising. You could have 2 different children that respond differently to different methods. You could have an intimate partner that responds differently to the way you speak or the way you communicate than a different partner. And we move through life with this perspective that the problem is you, when usually the problem is us. And so the older I get, the more I'm finding that I need to, things always work out better when I start with me, as opposed to the people around me. No matter how messed up they might be. But thank you.
That was rich.
So, Thema.
Yes.
What in the world is toxic lover healing?
Oh boy.
Speak on it.
You sure you ready?
Speak on it, please.
I have used my own journey with becoming the kind of lover that I want. And I spent 12 years plus in toxic relationships. I've been on every end of being married, divorced, and an illegal marriage. Just, we together, but you ain't got no assets, so we ain't doing no business of marriage, right? To now being back in these streets and these things.
Yes.
Slaying. No. So Toxic Lover Healing is a program that I created. It's a relationship training for 9 weeks that teach women how to become what you want. And it wasn't until I learned how to love myself, it wasn't until I became impeccable with my self-care and radical with my self-acceptance that I could stand in the truth of me being one of the baddest wives on the planet.
Tell us what you mean when you say radical.
So, majority of the reasons why people become toxic in their love exchanges is because, in the words of Getting the Love You Want, this book by Harville Hendrix, every human being is choosing a mate based upon your subconscious mind, and you're trying to find a surrogate parent to your childhood wounds. So my philosophy behind how to get what you want with matters of your heart is become what you're looking for.
You just dropped some real heavy.
All of my lovers.
If you were a DJ, I would ask you to rewind right now. You just said
run that track back.
You run that back. You just said something about people looking for a surrogate parent for their toxic wounds.
Yeah, their childhood wounds.
For their childhood wounds. So what
So
that sounds
you
like
vow that
to
you
me
never
is an
will marry your
enabler.
daddy.
Like,
Well,
are we
on
looking
some
for
level.
an enabler to whatever? Like, so we're all bringing wounds. Let's just call them wounds.
Mhm.
When we enter relationships, we're bringing our personal wounds to the table. We're bringing up. Some people call it baggage. Some people call
But
it
you're
life experience.
supposed to.
It's normal. It's a very normal, natural thing, right?
It's a subconscious thing.
Right,
And
but
the subconscious mind is power without direction.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens is you vow, I'm never going to marry my daddy. And then you do just that. Because those wounds need to be heard.
And resolved, right?
Yeah, so every lover I've ever had, shout out to all the men that's been a part of my life. Every lover I've ever had, to me, is a master teacher. And your lovers will teach you where you're still wounded. But we make the mistake of saying, well, if you can see the wound, your neck start breaking. If you can see the wound, then you should be able to do something about it. What should happen?
Or we resent the person for recognizing
it. So, because we're not ready to do our work. And so, in my last relationship, which was a 7-year experience, 7 is the number of completion. And I call him the remnant because all of my major lovers came into my life at 14, every single one. And so I just came out of that cycle in matters of my heart with my daughter's father. He was the last man standing from that era of my life. What I learned in that experience with him is that I held a lot of unhealthy expectations. My ego was savage. And so I would deny love. I would hang my love, as
carrot and stick.
As like the stick.
Yeah.
If you don't show up the way I think you're supposed to, because I'm using your behavior to define my worth and value, because I haven't done enough work to heal my original thought of unworthiness, now all of a sudden you're responsible for my happiness. Instead of us coming together to be happy and expand upon what we've been able to cultivate within ourselves.
Or instead of each of you bringing your own version of happiness to the table and
Yes.
sharing it with each other.
Love is easy. And I just want to say that to anybody who feels like you can't get it right or you don't know what you're doing. Love is easy, but fear is hard. And it interrupts the flow of love because now you don't feel safe and now you want to hold the other person responsible for what you don't know to do with yourself. But, relationships, if you need soul work, just go get a boo. Go get married. Go get married.
I heard someone say that that's actually the purpose of relationships.
I believe it is.
Right? So a lot of times when people say things like, I'm going to stay away from other people, I don't want a relationship, I don't want to relate. I think that there is a time and place for being still and not always being stimulated and not always being like, we all know people that are always with someone. Like they can't not be with someone.
Oh, yes.
So we're not talking about that, but I'm talking about the intentional avoidance of relating to people. But in actuality, that is what we all need to get to where we should be getting to.
Yeah, I'm not going to deny love. And I experience love every day. Last year in my community, I started saying to the women, the brothers are coming. They was like, oh yeah, Thema, where they at? And we had this powerful experience at a retreat I do every year called Elevation Weekend, where I invited a group of men who had their own sacred process. Shout out to Manifest Ra and the Sage Men. And so the brothers came in and held space, and each man stood in front of each woman, and in a nutshell was saying energetically, I don't know what man came before me that hurt you, but I'm using my powerful energy to correct that pain so you can understand what it's like to interact with divine masculine energy. Ever since that moment, it was deeply healing even for me. Everything I put out, it has to serve me for me to know that it's going to hit, you know? Mm-hmm. So even in that moment, I realized I didn't even know how to have a male friend. I didn't even know how to relate to the masculine energy without thinking it wanted something from me, right? And so when I began to really, really confront my daddy wounds, my first husband was my daddy, my second one was my mama. Now I'm like, okay, let's break this generational pattern, because it's not gonna fall on my daughter's head. You know, so toxic lover healing is a process where I teach people where their wounds are that are showing up in the relationship and in the exchange. And I hand walk them through how to become what they're looking for. When I showed up as I wanted my man to show up, we created the most beautiful thing I've ever made. My daughter, she's a true love child, conceived on our anniversary. Like, we really did that. So, you know, I said, wow, this is what love creates when it's not limited by our fears and our unhealthy expectations. And so I experience love every day. My truth is, I am love, so are you, so are you, so are you. Yes. If we would change our expectations and just let the love flow, we would relate to each other with greater ease.
We need to let a lot of the BS beliefs that we carry around with us, we need to let them go.
Yeah, those unhealthy value systems,
and
stuff that your great aunties told you, and ain't none of them got the relationship you want. You know, you gotta let that stuff go. Yeah, it's not serving you anymore.
Man, we need another hour, but we don't have.
I know.
We'll be right back with Now We're Talking. Thank you so much for sticking with us.
Yes.
The Artist Exchange Radio Show every Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., every Saturday, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Real artist, real talk, real live on BeExposedRadio.com.
I was meeting with a friend yesterday, and I've gotten to the point where don't ask me a question because the truth is going to come out.
Exactly.
Just don't do it.
If you ain't looking for the truth, don't come to me.
Don't do it, because I can't hold my tongue. And she wants to be this stylist, boutique, but you're not doing anything in that nature, and I can't take you seriously if you're not doing those things. And I understood why people didn't take me seriously, because I found myself in somebody else's lane. I was good at what I was doing and what I wanted to be, but I wasn't doing it for me. So how can I ask you to take me seriously if I'm living in somebody else's shoes?
And nobody can do what you do, and I think that that's a big problem that people face now. Like, you see what somebody else is doing and you want to do that when that's not your lane.
That's not your lane.
That's not what you're supposed to be doing.
But it's popular, it's getting that person money, it's getting that person applause. Oh, I want applause. I want money. Let me stand over here behind them.
And then a lot of times people aren't honest with themselves either. Like, I was thinking earlier today, I've been woke for almost 2 days, so so you get honesty, and I was thinking, like, you know,
the Artist Exchange Radio Show.
This is a Poverty ENT exclusive. Next stop, Texaco, strapped up, you already know. Fuck niggas hate, that's how it goes. Bros with me, yeah, it's time to go.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back to Now We're Talking. It has been an amazing show. I cannot believe, I don't know where the time went. I learned so much and I still have 1,000 more questions. So to me, that just means that we need to do this again. But thank you all for being amazing. I'm going to give you all an opportunity to, if you have it, plug your social media. If you have products that you have available for purchase, whether it's services, music, whatever, you can do that. I'll start with myself. That way you can get your thoughts together. I am, again, Mervin A. Bourne Jr., the author of A Single Mother's Guide to Raising a Son. The co-host of the show, who's not with us tonight but is here in spirit, is Lolita E. Walker of Walker & Walker Enterprises. She is the author of The Intersection of You and Change, both of which are available on Amazon.com in both paperback and ebook. You can reach us at nowwe'retalkinglive@gmail.com. You can catch this show every single Thursday, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. My website is mervinbourne.com. Her website is lolitawalker.com. And I am humbled and blessed to be bringing this show to you each and every Thursday. So thank you all for tuning in. Miss Ray Starlight.
Oh, yes, got it right.
Let the people know where they can reach you, how they can get in touch with you, if they want to learn more about Reiki, what that is, how it can change their lives. How do they find that out?
Yeah, definitely. So please, I just recommend come see me at Aaduri. Like I said, Aaduri Healing Arts off of Hartford Road. I'm not the only practitioner there. You know, we do massage, acupuncture, reflexology. There's a bunch of like good things that you can get out of just stopping by. I also, my Facebook page is Ray of Starlight Crystal Healing and Reiki, so you can look me up on Facebook. That's also my Instagram name and my Twitter handle. It's just a Ray of Starlight. I made it easy for you guys. I just want to say thank you guys for tuning in, and like, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me via social media. If you want to know more about crystals, I will recommend the Encyclopedia of Crystals by Judy Hall. She's pretty much a master of crystals. There's no one at her level right now doing the work that she does with these instruments. So if you're interested, like I said, the Encyclopedia of Crystals by Judy Hall.
Great. Miss Thema.
I am going to ask you to Google me. Just type in your search bar, The Womb Sauna, W-O-M-B Sauna, S-A-U-N-A. You will see that we are all over the internet. We dominate the first 15 pages. Our company, it looks like it's just me, but we're actually in 10 different countries as of this year. We have certified womb sauna practitioners all over the world. You can get trained if you really resonate with working with women and holding sacred space for them to heal everything. You can apply for our training on our website. We also have a strong presence on Facebook and YouTube, so follow and subscribe to my YouTube channel. You type in the womb sauna in the search bar, you're going to find me. You're going to find a lot. We have over 200 lectures there, and you can just stream and hear some positive information. And then lastly, we do have a community online where you can interact with me, catch some of my crazy, transparent live streams that I do. And that's on Facebook. It's a group called Let the Womb Be Heard. We have over 1,300 women who show up and be witnessed and will witness you. I'm just going to say this. Come out of hiding. I don't know who's listening who needs to hear this message. But sometimes the next missing piece of the puzzle is you being seen and experienced. And we have an epidemic of men and women doing so much. We're so accomplishment driven that you have become the manager of your life and you're not living your life. And it's time for you to get back to mindfulness and being more and doing less. Yes. And so, you know, get into some of these connections and resources so you can get back to being yourself and enjoying the life that you have before you try to make it something else. So Google me, The Womb Sauna, and let me know that you listen to this show. Reach out to me. And I will be happy to love on you and give you some interaction.
All right.
Yeah.
And Dr. Dorothy.
Yes, you can find me, you plug in Google search engine or any other search engine, Dorothy Adamson, Adamson, last name Holley, Holldy. It's my Facebook page, Drum Dr. Dot or Drumetry, Drumetry, Drums and Poetry. You can find me. I'm also with the band Roses and Rust. I love my band.
I gotta come
Roses,
here.
the letter N, and then Rust. We're a Baltimore-based band, playing a whole lot of groovy, funky music. If you need a band, hey, holla at us. Nyame Cultural Healing Arts Therapy, or NCHAT. We do performances, but we actually use rhythm to help people to heal. We are not, strangers to performances. In fact, we'll be at Mount Vernon, in front of the monument, September 12th, as a part of Mount Vernon Conservancy. And I think that's about it.
All right. Well, thank you all so much. Again, this was an amazing show. Thank you.
Seriously.
Thank you.
Lolita, thank you.
Yes, and Lolita, we love you. Thank you.
Thank you, Lolita, for making it happen. We miss you. We can't wait for you to get back. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. It's been a great show. Now we're talking every Thursday, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have an amazing, amazing week. Oh, final announcement before we go. My men's wellness retreat that I mentioned several shows ago is going to be a reality. I have a date. It is November, the weekend of November the 15th. November 15th, 16th, 17th. More details to come, but all of you men that are out there doing and hustling and accomplishing and striving and achieving and not taking care of yourselves, not living your purpose, not even seeking your purpose, never taking a break from the everyday hustle, bustle, and struggle that is this thing we call life. You need this. So stay tuned for more information about it. It will be available on mervinbourne.com in the coming days, but I cannot wait to help you find your purpose and change your lives. Have an amazing week. Thanks for watching. Now we're talking.
Are you thinking about getting your GED diploma? Well, here at the GED Pep Talk Center, we've got a number of pep talks that can motivate you.
Sometimes things don't always turn out the way you want them to.
You know that feeling? People look at you and don't believe